Hi, welcome to Sue Marie P. My name's Sue and today I'm going to share how to make an easy, no-knead spelt sourdough bread. That's right. It's been inspired by another YouTuber called Mary's Nest, and I'll pop her video up above. I've been experimenting with my first spelt sourdough starter and I fed it last night and it's beautiful and bubbly, so I thought I'm going to make another sourdough and I want to share it with you. So I've measured out my whole grain spelt flour. There's 3 cups, which weighs out to be 430 grams. So we're going to pop that into a large bowl. And I'm not using my KitchenAid or a mixer today. And I'm going to put a teaspoon of salt and whisk that together. I haven't tried this with white spelt flour. I was trying to do it quite healthy, so I did the whole grain spelt flour, like in Mary's Nest. I'm going to weigh my starter, just so I know the exact grams as well. So I've got my scales, a little bowl here. She says she uses half a cup of her starter, so I'm just going to scoop out my half cup, but give you a gram measurement as well. I've got my notes here on the computer and just checking that as I go. Okay, step 1, I should have added the starter to my bowl of water. That's okay. I'm just going to use my spatula to get that out. I was always daunted by making a starter and sourdough, but I thought I'm going to give it a go, and I'll share how to make the starter very soon. In here, in my jug, if you can see that, I'll just place it where you can see it. Yeah, you can see it there. So there's 250 mils of filtered water. It's floating, which is a good sign. That means it's active. And when I woke up this morning and saw it all bubbly, I thought, oh, that's a good sign. I was really worried about it because I was distracted. I've had a friend visiting from Australia and I didn't get to feed my sourdough starter weekly. So I had another look at it last night and revived it. So in here, I'm going to pour this all in here. So I don't need my starter anymore. So that goes back in the fridge and then I'll feed it just before I need to use it again. So to start with, I'm just going to mix it with this spatula and then I'm going to go in with my hand. And I probably should take my ring off because I'll get dough all in that. I loved her method because, look, she explained that the sourdough isn't going to be like a bakery or amazing, but for the simplicity of doing it just by hand and no knead, you still get a really good tasting sourdough. I was so impressed that I thought, I'm not going to bother trying to do a complicated method. I love things that are simple and quite straightforward, and then it makes it less daunting if you want to try it at home as well. So I'm just using my hand to make a rough ball. You kind of know when it comes together because it'll be smoother. And the good thing about spelt flour is it doesn't require the kneading like regular flour. So my bowl's looking clean. I've got this kind of like rough ball here. So it's not smooth, but it's kind of like a shaggy ball. So the next thing I need to do is, form the bowl and cover the bowl with a towel and rest it for 30 minutes. Got a little towel here underneath. So let's rest that and then we'll do the next step. So our 30 minutes is up and what I need to do is remove my dough ball. It's a bit sticky, so I'm going to just flour my bench. I've just zoomed the camera in so you can see what I'm doing. I'm just going to flour that. All I need to do is just fold this over like an envelope. So just grab the side, grab the other side, and then just fold that, then fold it again. And then I just need to, what am I trying to say? Move it around so it forms like a ball. And that looks pretty good. So my ball's made. So for the next proof, I grab my large baking tray and I sprinkle it with flour. I've just got spelt flour in my little container here. And we place the ball on the paper, sprinkle it again with some flour. We grab our cloth back and then we cover it again. So now I just wait for 1.5 to 2 hours until this doubles in size, and then we get the Dutch oven hot in our oven while that's resting. So maybe so half an hour before my dough is ready, I'll grab this and I'll pop it into my oven, and I set my oven really high. I think it's around 250, 260 degrees C, and I'll pop some other Fahrenheit measurements above. So I've had my cast iron pot or Dutch oven heating up for about half an hour at 250 degrees C with a fan. That's as high as I could get my oven. So I'm just going to grab that out of the oven. So I'm going to take the lid off and we'll grab our sourdough. My head's probably chopped off, but you can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to score my sourdough with a really sharp knife. And you don't need to be too fancy. I'm just doing it right down the middle. If you don't want to cut it, you don't need to. And then we pick up the paper and just place it in the hot pot. And then we need to grab the lid back and pop it in the oven. Pop the lid back on. Now I'm going to bake it in my oven for 30 minutes. My timer's just gone off, so now I'm going to get the lid off the bread so I can bake it for another 5 to 10 minutes until it's golden. And be careful because it's super hot. So it's time to get my sourdough out of the oven. So my sourdough's golden brown, and I'm just going to lift it gently by the paper. Because the paper's been cooked, it's a bit hot. I'm going to let it rest for about 10 minutes before we slice it open. Maybe a little bit longer, but everything's so hot, so I'm going to come back. So I've been cooling my sourdough for about an hour, so I'm going to cut into it and have a look. Look at that. The texture's too bad. It's quite dense because I used whole grain spelt flour. I probably would prefer a few more bubbles and air pockets, but for a fast, no knead, simple bread, let me just try it. Okay, I'm just putting a little bit of butter. Bread and butter always tastes great. You know what? For homemade bread, spelt sourdough, whole grain, I think it's pretty good. If you're like me and you're looking for an easy way out to make a sourdough and you want a fast option, you don't want to wait hours and hours, try this, give it a go and let me know in the comments below. I'm still going to perfect it, and I'll maybe do another option with just white spelt flour and see how that goes. Anyway, pop a comment below and let me know if you've given this recipe a go and what you think of it. And I'll pop some other videos for some other spelt bread recipes and ideas. And just before we go, I'm going to zoom in so you can have a look at the texture a bit close up. A few of my viewers have requested a few more close-ups of the texture so they can get to know what it looks like. So I'll say goodbye, but I'll zoom in and show you what it looks like close.